and few other irritants, poison like plant poison and animal poison. Okay, talking about agricultural poison, what are the agricultural poison that you're familiar with? Can anyone answer that?
Organophosphorous.
Okay, organophosphorus poison, and what else? What else? और के poison होला? हिजो मात्र we talked about one poison, I know.
Malathion, parathion.
Malathion, parathion are under organophosphates. We had one class yesterday, right? के पढाएको थियौँ हिजो हामीले?
Carbamate.
Carbamate, okay. But I wanted to know about yesterday's class. के पढाएको थियौँ हामीले हिजो? बिर्स्यो हिजोको क्लास irritant? Can you hear me? What happened? Am I audible or not? कोही बोल्दैन?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, हिजो के को क्लास भएको थियो? भर्खर कसले आन्सर गर्यो? दिपेन्द्र हो?
कोरोसिभ इरिटेन्ट्सहरु अनि हेभी मेटल पोइजनिङहरु भयो.
हेभी मेटल भने इरिटेन्ट हैन?
यस म्याम.
त्यसमा कुनै एग्रिकल्चरल पोइजन थियो हेभी मेटलमा?
Zinc.
Zinc हैन. Arsenic is supposed to be insecticides हैन? Agricultural poison, arsenic. Okay, so commonly used agricultural poison मा arsenic आउँछ एउटा, अर्को organophosphorus आउँछ अनि अर्को aluminum phosphide आउँछ, commonly used. Okay, अब organophosphorus classification of insecticides मा virtually harmless, comparatively harmless, mildly toxic, highly toxic भनेर हुन्छ हैन? अनि insecticides of vegetable origins हुन्छ. Okay, अनि virtually harmless मा चाहिँ copper oxide, orchid fungicides, petroleum भयो. Comparatively harmless मा we have a sulfuric acid of 20%, sodium and chloratium हुन्छ. Mildly toxic मा DDT, gamaxane, aldrin, dieldrin भयो. Highly toxic मा arsenical compounds, dinitrophenol र parathion भनेको arsenic र this is phenol, dinitrophenol and parathion भनेको is organophosphorus. Okay, so insects of vegetable origin ma chemical insecticides ma we have phosphorus and compound of antimony, arsenic ra barium boy, and synthetic origin ma we have phosphate, esters, carbamates, chlorinated hydrocarbons. This is the classification of insecticides that you should be knowing. All right, you ready, so you take the same classification, so I'm not sticking on to this slide for much longer. So I'll be moving on to organophosphorus compounds. Okay, organophosphorus compounds ma two group of organophosphorus compounds. Euta cha alkyl phosphate huncha, orko aryl phosphate huncha. Okay, alkyl phosphate ma we have eptep, dimex-fox, malathion, sulfotep huncha bhane. Aryl phosphate ma we have parathion, paroxone, methyl parathion, and chlorothion. These are the commonly used organophosphorus poisons. Okay, and they are under two groups, एउटा alkyl phosphate मा आउँछ अर्को aryl phosphate मा आउँछ. Alright, so कति धेरै जसो organophosphorus and direct नसोधिकन अरु नेम्सहरु parathion को write about signs and symptoms about parathion poison अथवा body was found near the body, a bottle was there where it was written parathion. Now write down the signs and symptoms of parathion. This is so it's good if you know the names as well. Now we have to know the organophosphorus poison mechanism of action is very important for you. Can anyone explain? I think you have studied in pharma, so anyone can explain what is the mechanism of action in organophosphate poisoning, phosphorus poisoning?
Anti-stalcolin strategy against ma'am. Stalcolin strategy against ma चाहिँ गएर यो पाथन organophosphorus को मर्छ गएर बाइन्ड गरिदिन्छ. त्यसो कारणले गर्दा acetylcholine को hydrolysis हुन पाउँदैन अनि more amount of acetylcholine will be deposited in the synaptic node and that will cause constant contraction of the body and leads to the weakness and cholinergic symptoms.
So I suppose you know the mechanism of action, since one of your friend has explained so well, I assume you all know the answer, but again, still I will be giving you a preview or review about the mechanism of action. So basically, Dipendra explained acetylcholine चाहिँ कहाँनिर प्रोड्युस हुन्छ भन्दा माइरोन्युरोनल जंक्शनमा प्रोड्युस हुन्छ हैन traces of acetylcholine is produced. All right, so के गर्छ acetylcholine को main function हैन acetylcholine लाई चाहिँ cholinesterase enzyme ले चाहिँ के गर्छ भन्दाखेरि acetic acid र choline मा हाइड्रोलाइसिस गरिदिन्छ. Okay, तर के हुन्छ OP compound when it's ingested it inhibits cholinesterase enzyme. किन inhibit गरिदिन्छ भन्दा it combines with cholinesterase enzyme. Okay, so what happens? It causes inactive phosphorylation at myroneuronal junction. Now, enzyme is responsible for maintenance of impulse between nerve and skeletal muscles. So when enzyme is inhibited, what happens? Acetylcholine gets accumulated at the neuromuscular junction, which further causes prevention of synapses, synaptic and sympathetic and parasympathetic nerve impulse like prevent गरिदिन्छ. Okay, so that is how this organophosphorus compound works, or mechanism of action of organophosphorus poison. So according to the mechanism of action, we have got two type of manifestation. Okay, so एउटा चाहिँ muscarinic manifestation हुन्छ, अर्को nicotinic manifestation हुन्छ. So muscarinic manifestation मा चाहिँ we have this salivation, increase of salivation, lacrimation, urination, defecation, GIT distress र emesis हुन्छ भने अरु symptomsहरुमा there will be bronchial constriction, secretion, dyspnea, cyanosis, pulmonary edema. जस्तै अनि GI tract मा we have anorexia, nausea, vomiting, cramp, diarrhea, tenesmus, bradycardia, myiasis, dilated pupil and blurred vision. These are the muscarinic manifestation. Next manifestation is nicotinic manifestation. Nicotinic ma we have muscular fasciculation, striatal muscles ma affect huncha, so further causes cramp, weaknesses, muscle paralysis. Similarly, there is sympathetic ganglia ma affect bhएर there is hypertension, tachycardia, pallor huncha. All right, त्यो बाहेक अरु CNS manifestationहरु पनि हुन्छ, जस्तै restlessness, emotional liability, headache, tremor, drowsiness, confusion, slurred speech, weakness, coma, convulsion, depression of the respiratory and CVS system. So these are the clinical features or manifestations of organophosphorus poison. So if you remember the mechanism of action, you'll be able to write down the clinical features or clinical features. We can easily know the cause of death. Okay, cause of death के कारणले हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि it's usually more due to respiratory muscle paralysis एउटा चाहिँ फेलियर अफ रेस्पिरेटरी सेन्टर्स हुन्छ, अर्को चाहिँ इन्क्रिज्ड ब्रोन्कोकन्स्ट्रिक्सन। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि बोथ दिस action causes paralysis of respiratory muscles. You can see that there is bronchial constriction out here. So it affects the respiratory system, and paralysis of respiratory muscles is the cause of death. Now, how can you diagnose organophosphorus poisoning? It's basically we